If she says this, she's already cheating modern Stoic. When love fades, the first signs are rarely obvious. The real shift begins long before the body ever strays. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today, we're diving into an important and often uncomfortable topic that many men learn about only after it's too late. Cheating doesn't usually happen overnight. It's not a sudden, impulsive decision. More often than not, it starts with a slow but steady emotional drift. Little changes in behavior, shifts in priorities, and subtle disconnections. Before anything physical happens, the emotional distance has already taken root. If you're not paying attention, you might not notice these early warning signs until they've already spiraled. But don't worry, this video is designed to help you spot those red flags before they turn into a crisis. We're not talking about suspicion or unfounded doubts, but real awareness and clarity about your relationship. When a woman begins to emotionally withdraw her words and actions start telling a story that doesn't quite line up with what she might be saying on the surface. In this video, we're going to look at 4 key phrases that often hint at a deeper issue, whether it's emotional infidelity, manipulation, or even the beginning of a quiet exit strategy. This isn't about blaming anyone. It's about safeguarding your emotional health, peace, and well-being. If you've ever felt that something was off in your relationship, but couldn't quite pinpoint it, this video is for you. Stay with us until the end. We'll explore some key insights that could give you the clarity you need to either move forward with confidence or take the necessary steps to protect your heart. Let's dive in. 1. He's just a friend. A classic red flag. When she says, he's just a friend, don't take it lightly. That simple sentence is often the first crack in a much deeper issue, one that is hard to see but easy to feel. It might start off small, almost innocuous, a name mentioned a little too frequently, an inside joke, a laugh that lingers a bit longer than it should. You might want to believe her to trust her and convince yourself that you're simply overthinking. But remember, the words, he's just a friend, are rarely as harmless as they sound. Behind them lies something far more complex and often strategic. You see, when a woman goes out of her way to explain away another man's presence, it's not to reassure you. It's to keep you at ease while she continues to navigate the emotional space between you. If it were truly nothing, if he were just some random guy, she wouldn't need to clarify things so much. But here she is defending him with excuses. Maybe he's gay, maybe he's already involved with someone, or we've known each other forever. All the while she's trying to maintain the connection without ever confronting you. It's rehearsed, intentional. Pay attention, because the more effort she invests in explaining this, friend, the more you need to question why it's even a topic. If it didn't matter, she wouldn't be trying so hard to make you believe it. Watch closely, and you'll see the telltale signs she mentions him too often. She smiles when his name pops up, and maybe she even encourages you to meet him, hoping that seeing them together will ease your discomfort. But it won't. Your gut will tell you otherwise. The real test is how she reacts when you express concern. If her response is to dismiss you, get defensive, or even lash out in anger, it's not about you being paranoid. It's about something she hasn't fully admitted to herself. Love that is real. Love that is deep doesn't need to be guarded. A partner who truly values you wouldn't risk your emotional security just to preserve someone else's presence. She wouldn't push a relationship that makes you uncomfortable or forces you into tolerating something that quietly undermines the trust between you. That's where the modern Stoic's perspective can come in handy. You must recognize the difference between loyalty and what you're being told is loyalty. Stoicism teaches you to be aware of what you control and what you don't. And when it comes to emotional boundaries, this is a time to assert what is yours. If she resists that assertion, then that emotional loyalty she's giving away is no longer to you. Emotional infidelity isn't always a dramatic betrayal. Often it begins with subtle shifts unnoticed until they're too big to ignore. Watch for the signs: frequent texting, laughter over her phone messages she deletes or hides, or her sharing intimate details with him that she no longer shares with you. It's not harmless. It's not friendship. It's emotional intimacy shifting away from you. And the worst part is, she might not even realize what she's doing, or worse, she may not care. You see, these friendships are often more than just what they seem. Once the current relationship falters, these emotional connections frequently evolve into something else, something more, something that was quietly waiting in the wings the entire time. Just look at the stories of men who've seen it happen, years of defending a friend until months after a breakup, that same friend becomes something more. It's a painful truth many men try to avoid. He's just a friend may not be a lie, but it's often an incomplete story, one where the truth is a matter of divided loyalty, and that's something a modern Stoic can never ignore. The words "he's just a friend" are a classic red flag because they often signal a deeper issue. When she's emotionally invested in someone else, she's not giving you her full heart. And that divided heart, like any divided loyalty, weakens what could be a strong relationship. The old Stoic would advise you not to ignore the signs, but to trust your instincts, recognize the truth of what's happening, and face it. Don't allow yourself to be gaslighted into believing you're imagining it. When a woman's energy is devoted elsewhere, especially when it's covert, you're not just competing with a friend, you're competing with a hidden emotional attachment. Trust is built on actions, not words. If she's willing to risk your emotional safety, your connection, then that's not love. It's a dangerous game of emotional misdirection. Don't allow yourself to be the person left in the background while she continues to keep a door open for someone else. In the end, a woman who truly values you will make you feel secure, valued, and enough. If she doesn't, the story she's telling you is nothing more than a red flag wrapped in a smile. The blessing of Stoicism here is clear. Protect your heart, know your worth, and don't allow anyone to divide your loyalty. If you're not her priority, then you're not her choice. 2. Gaslighting and deflecting accountability. There are moments in a relationship when something just doesn't feel right. A shift in her tone, a hesitation in her voice, a story that doesn't quite line up. You know it deep down. Your intuition is screaming that something's off. But instead of clarity, you're met with deflection. She turns the tables. Suddenly, you're the one on trial. You're overreacting, she says. You're insecure. Sound familiar. This isn't just a case of miscommunication. It's a psychological maneuver, gaslighting. You bring up your concerns hoping for a straightforward conversation, but it feels more like you're walking into a courtroom. The problem isn't her behavior anymore, it's you. She turns your question into an accusation, making you second-guess your instincts. What you thought was a simple concern becomes a minefield of doubts. This, my friend, is not only unfair, it's a power play. And here's the thing, it's not always loud or overt. Gaslighting often operates in the background, subtly reshaping your reality. The aim isn't to be cruel, it's to confuse. It's to make you question your own perception. When you catch her sitting too close to another man or read a text that feels wrong, your gut tells you something is amiss. And yet her response shifts the blame to you, making you feel guilty for noticing the red flags. It's a classic move in the game of deflection. Don't be fooled. Her behavior wasn't the issue you were told. Your reaction is. That's gaslighting in its purest form, not always loud, but always disorienting. Now sometimes it goes even deeper. The next time you voice your concerns, you might hear this. Why are you accusing me of cheating? Are you cheating on me? Suddenly the focus is no longer on her actions, but on you. It's not just defense, it's projection. She shifts the spotlight from her misdeeds to yours, casting a shadow of doubt on your own actions. In doing so, she avoids accountability and leaves you questioning everything, even your own trust in yourself. This isn't just about catching someone in a lie. It's about your sense of peace, your ability to stand firm in your perception without the weight of someone else's twisted version of reality pulling you down. Over time, gaslighting erodes your confidence, leaving you uncertain. And this is key, Stoicism teaches us to trust ourselves. Your intuition, like your inner Stoic voice, doesn't lie. When you hear a new version of events, like the girls' only night that suddenly included a guy, don't let the smooth explanation derail you. Maybe she brushes it off with a smile, telling you that you're overthinking it. But the truth, it doesn't always shout. Sometimes it's hidden in those little contradictions, in the inconsistencies you start to overlook. These small leaks in the story are like cracks in the foundation of your trust. At first they seem minor, but over time they accumulate, and before you know it, the structure of your relationship is eroded. Stoicism isn't about ignoring your feelings, it's about being anchored in the truth. Don't let someone else rewrite the narrative. When your gut tells you something's off, trust that feeling. There's a reason you notice the inconsistency. Don't make the mistake of brushing it off. You don't need every detail to align perfectly to know that something isn't right. In fact, it's the very contradictions that hold the truth like the whispers of wisdom from your inner Stoic. Why you must stand firm in the face of gaslighting. Your peace is too valuable to be chipped away by half-truths and blame games. Stoic life teaches us that we cannot control the behavior of others, but we can control our response. When someone tries to twist the truth, you don't have to buckle. The power lies in your clarity, and this clarity comes from within. As the saying goes, if your spirit is unsettled, there's a reason. Trust that. You've already caught a glimpse of the truth, that nagging feeling you couldn't ignore. But gaslighting is designed to make you question what you know deep inside. It's a tactic meant to destabilize you, to make you feel like you're imagining things. Don't let her deflect. You must stand firm. Refuse to be the one who's always apologizing for simply asking questions. You don't have to explain your instincts to anyone. They're yours, and they're often right. Gaslighting might make you doubt yourself, but your response doesn't have to be confusing. Be calm in the storm. Just like the lessons from Stoicism, let your responses be rooted in clarity. When you stop doubting yourself, you reclaim your power. Your peace doesn't depend on her story. It depends on your ability to see through the smoke and mirrors. That's the essence of Stoicism, maintaining control over what's yours, especially your inner peace. Don't let anyone rewrite your reality. Gaslighting works by making you feel small, but the truth is that your instincts are a guide. When something feels off, it probably is. The strength of a Stoic lies in their ability to stay grounded no matter how much the world around them shifts. Keep your peace intact. Trust yourself. Your intuition is not your enemy, it's your ally. When someone tries to deflect, remember that gaslighting is simply a tactic to shift blame. Don't fall for it. Your clarity begins when you stop questioning your own perception. Stand firm. Live by the Stoic lessons that teach you to be rooted in your truth. Trust your gut, and always remember, your inner peace is the most precious thing you have. Don't let anyone take it from you. If her words make you question your reality, it's not love, it's manipulation. Trust your gut, not her excuses. Your instincts are your shield. And if you feel this truth, drop it in the comments right now. My intuition doesn't lie, and I won't doubt it again. Like this video, subscribe for more modern Stoic wisdom, and remember, clarity begins the moment you stop defending what you know is true. 3. I need space. A soft exit strategy. I need space. Those 3 words sound gentle, innocent, as if they're spoken with care. But don't be deceived. To the trained eye of the modern Stoic, this is not a calm request for solitude, it's a tactical withdrawal, a prelude to detachment, a slow fade disguised as reflection. This phrase is rarely about growth and almost never about healing the relationship. More often than not, it's a soft exit, a way to start emotionally moving on without the disruption of honesty. Marcus Aurelius said, "Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it if you have to with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. You must face this phrase with clarity, not confusion, with reason, not reaction." When she says she needs space, she's already emotionally gone. She just hasn't told you yet. That space isn't empty. It's already being filled by distractions, by silence sometimes, by someone else. And when that friend starts to show up more often in conversation, when she says he's just a friend, that's when the alarms should go off, not out of jealousy, but out of awareness. A man grounded in Stoic principles doesn't ignore patterns. He doesn't drown in delusion. He reads between the lines, and he sees what isn't being said. You must watch her actions, not her words. The messages come slower, shorter, colder. The intimacy that once connected you, touch, time, attention fades quietly. The voice that once lit up when you called now sounds distracted, uninterested. She starts investing her energy elsewhere, into people, places, and passions that don't include you. This is how emotional exits begin. Slowly, silently, subtly, and most men don't see it until it's too late because they want to believe the best. They hold on, they hope, they chase, they fall into the trap. But listen to me now, chasing her is the worst thing you can do. The more you pursue, the more power you give away. The more you plead, the more her respect for you dissolves. Do not beg, do not negotiate, do not try to prove your worth. That is not what a man of strength does. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength, said Marcus Aurelius. This is where your strength is tested. This is where your masculinity is refined. You must honor her request, but not in the way she expects. Don't argue, don't cling. Step back not in weakness, but in control. Not out of spite, but out of self-respect. You're not retreating. You're reclaiming your ground. You're no longer available to be breadcrumbed or used as emotional security while she auditions another life. Let her test life without you. Let her find out what it's like when your presence becomes absent. Let her sit in the silence of the space she created. That's where your power lives, in that silence. It's where Stoic men forge resilience, where they stop pouring themselves into people who cannot hold them, where they rediscover their values, their boundaries, their center. When she realizes that you're not waiting at the door, not hovering in hope, not messaging to see if she's okay, that's when she feels the full weight of your absence. That's when she realizes the door she cracked open for someone else has quietly closed behind you. You didn't shout, you didn't slam it, you simply stepped back with dignity. That is strength. That is what makes you unforgettable, not desperation, but discipline. You gave her the very thing she asked for, and while she used that space to drift, you used it to rise, to sharpen, to realign. That's what Stoic principles demand, not to fight for someone who won't fight for you, but to walk away with calm clarity when the battle is no longer worth waging. Let her go. Do it not from anger, but from wisdom. Do it with the calm stillness of a man who knows his worth. Do it as someone who understands that love cannot be coerced and respect cannot be begged for. You don't need her to come back. You don't need closure. You don't even need answers. The truth is already clear in her actions, in the shift in her energy, in the words she didn't say. And if she finds someone else in the space you gave her, then you didn't lose her. You dodged a life of being a backup plan. That's not heartbreak. That's escape. Let her realize too late. Let her look back and see a man she couldn't manipulate, a man who didn't fall apart, a man who stood firm. That's the man Marcus Aurelius was writing to. That's the modern Stoic. That's who you are becoming. You're not broken. You're just being reminded of your strength. You're not alone. You're being refined by fire. This is your test. And when you pass it, when you stand tall while everything around you tries to pull you down, you won't just survive. You'll conquer. Don't chase, don't cling, don't collapse. Let go. Let her walk. Let her learn. You stay the course. You master the discipline. You become the man who commands silence and earns respect without saying a word. In the end, you won't just win her back, or anyone else for that matter. You'll win yourself back. And that, my friend, is the greatest victory of all. 4. You deserve someone better. There's a moment in some breakups that feels more confusing than heartbreaking. She sits quietly maybe, with a look of regret, or a practiced calm, and says what sounds like a compliment, but lands like a verdict: you deserve someone better. The words are delivered softly, as if she's doing you kindness and handing you a truth that should make you feel grateful. But underneath that polished sentence is a quiet unravelling of something already broken. And the real message, the one she's not saying aloud, is far less noble: I've already left. Please don't make this harder than it needs to be. When a woman says those words, she's almost always gone. Maybe not physically, not officially, but emotionally, she's no longer in the room with you. The warmth has faded. Her presence has shifted, and something in her tone now carries distance instead of care. You'll start to notice how the conversations grow shorter, how the eye contact disappears, and how her touch feels more like a habit than a connection. She's already withdrawn from the relationship, and what you hear now isn't a conversation. It's the closing line. This phrase is one of the cleanest emotional exit strategies she can use. It gives her the moral high ground while protecting her from guilt. Instead of saying, "I've lost interest" or "met someone else," she says, "You deserve more." A statement that frames you as the victim of a decision made with compassion. But in truth, she's asking for a smooth exit. One without confrontation, without difficult questions, and without having to explain choices she may not want to admit, especially if she's already emotionally or physically involved with someone else. This phrase allows her to move forward without carrying the weight of betrayal. She gives you the appearance of agency while controlling the direction of the outcome. The tactic works because it flips the emotional script. Suddenly, you're not the one being left. You're being offered freedom. She frames the breakup as a gift to you rather than an escape for her. And it works exceptionally well if you're still trying to make things work hopeful and unaware of how far gone she is. You may find yourself responding with confusion or even gratitude, not realizing that what's happening is a carefully worded way to shift the emotional labor of the breakup onto your shoulders. Many men make the mistake of trying to fix things at this point. They think maybe she's just tired or confused or needs reassurance. They offer to do better and communicate more, to change whatever they believed pushed her away. But when a woman says you deserve better, she has already rehearsed her exit internally. She is not asking for solutions. She's asking for closure without the mess. Trying to win her back at this point isn't strength. It's a delay of the inevitable and a slow erosion of your dignity. The right move is counterintuitive but powerful. You let her go without begging, bargaining, or needing the whole story, because the truth is already there in the silence behind her words. She's no longer emotionally invested, and she wants you to make the ending easier for her. Your acceptance isn't a loss. It's self-respect. It's understanding that if someone truly valued you, they wouldn't leave you under the illusion of being helped to heal. They would stay and face the discomfort of working through it. If this hits you hard, it's because you've been there, or you're there now. Recognize the truth behind the soft words, and choose dignity over desperation. Like, share, and subscribe for more clarity and strength in moments that test you. Comment to remember: acceptance isn't weakness, it's self-respect. 5. You're overthinking it. The subtle dismissal of your intuition. When she says you're overthinking, don't ignore it. That phrase, often dismissed as a harmless reassurance, may be the quiet warning sign of emotional manipulation. It's the subtle dismissal of your intuition, the gut feeling that's picking up on inconsistencies, changes in behavior and patterns you can't quite explain. You've sensed it, a slight change in tone, a name mentioned, too often moments that don't feel right. These are signals, and your instincts are sharp. When your intuition starts to notice these things, it's because something isn't lining up. But when she brushes it off with, "You're overthinking it," understand this, it's not a calming gesture. It's a deflection. It's an attempt to silence you and close the door to real conversation. Understand this, overthinking is when you're creating problems that aren't there. But if you're observing patterns, noticing shifts in behavior, or feeling emotional withdrawal, that's not overthinking. It's your mind and gut processing what is actually happening. It's observation, not paranoia. It's awareness, not insecurity. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher, reminds us, the things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your mind is working to piece things together to make sense of what's happening. It's not a flaw, it's a sign of emotional intelligence. When your feelings are based on concrete observations, that's not an irrational overreaction. It's a response to reality, a response that demands attention. So what happens when this phrase is used repeatedly? When it's said in moments where your concerns are genuine and valid, it becomes a tactic of avoidance, not reassurance. It's a shield used to deflect uncomfortable questions, to protect the illusion of a relationship without facing the truth. It's not about your sensitivity, it's about the discomfort of addressing what's being hidden. In these moments, the truth is this: she's not nurturing the relationship. She's protecting a version of it where the truth doesn't have to come out, and that, my friend, is dangerous territory. In relationships that are built on true intimacy and understanding your emotions should never be minimized. As Marcus Aurelius teaches, what is not good for the beehive cannot be good for the bees. Similarly, what doesn't nurture trust, communication, and mutual respect isn't good for the relationship. A partner who values you won't dismiss your emotional awareness, they'll engage with it. They'll pause, listen, and work to understand your perspective. The key is clarity, not dismissal. Clarity is what makes relationships strong because it fosters understanding, transparency, and growth. So let me be clear, when she says you're overthinking it, don't simply brush it off. That's the moment to reflect, step back, and reassess the relationship. You deserve better. You deserve clarity. Don't settle for a dynamic where your concerns are minimized. You must demand that your emotional intelligence be acknowledged, respected, and valued. This is how you build a strong, healthy relationship where both partners are seen, heard, and appreciated. This is how you master your emotional landscape. This is how you live according to Stoic principles, by seeking clarity, by accepting nothing less than truth, and by cultivating a mind that is sharp, aware, and strong. As you navigate modern relationships, remember your gut doesn't lie. Listen to it, trust it, and never ever let anyone dismiss your instincts as overthinking. Hey, I really appreciate you sticking around until the end of this video. I know these are tough conversations to have, but they're necessary if we want to build stronger, healthier relationships. So let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've talked about. Don't settle for half effort. Cheating at its core isn't some spontaneous, impulsive action. It's a slow, painful unraveling of emotional connection, loyalty, and respect. It starts with small shifts in behavior and language that often go unnoticed because we're too focused on the bigger picture. Phrases like, "he's just a friend," or "you deserve someone better" might seem innocent, but they are often signals that something is shifting beneath the surface. When a woman begins to disconnect emotionally, her words and actions change. The reassurances that used to make you feel secure now feel hollow. And yet too many men ignore these early signs. They second-guess their instincts, hoping that love or patience will fix things. But here's the truth. Emotional infidelity, once it starts, rarely fixes itself. Once respect is lost and emotional space starts being occupied by someone else, your relationship as you knew it is already changed. This is not about blaming anyone, and it's certainly not about pushing distrust. It's about learning to read the signs that are often unsaid, the things that aren't directly acknowledged, but are communicated through behavior. When a woman is emotionally invested in the relationship, she'll do everything in her power to protect it, honor your boundaries, and communicate openly. But when she starts using language that avoids responsibility, manipulates with guilt, or creates emotional distance without clear explanations, that's when you need to pay attention. You are not responsible for convincing someone to stay. You're not meant to beg for loyalty or love, especially when you're already seeing signs of detachment. And if you're still holding on hoping that things will magically turn around, you're only prolonging your own pain. A man of value doesn't chase after half-hearted affection. He doesn't tolerate ambiguity or let himself be strung along by someone who's emotionally checked out. Instead, he moves with quiet confidence. He walks away when something no longer serves him and makes room for peace, clarity, and growth. That, my friend, is strength, not anger, not revenge, but the ability to walk away with dignity. Emotional detachment, when done with respect for yourself, can be the strongest move you make. So ask yourself honestly, are you accepting less than you deserve? Are you hoping her words mean something different than they truly do? If so, are you ready to choose self-respect over confusion and make room for something better in your life? I'd love to hear your experiences. Have you ever encountered phrases like these? How did you respond? What did that situation teach you about yourself and relationships? I'm sure your insight could help someone else who might be going through something similar. Feel free to share your thoughts and stories in the comments below. And if you found value in this video, if it gave you the clarity you needed, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I've got plenty more videos lined up about emotional intelligence relationships and how to become the kind of man who knows his worth and doesn't waste time chasing what's not for him. Until next time, take care of your mind, protect your heart, and always lead with quiet strength. Stay strong, my friend. You deserve it.